This is the iPhone 16 Pro, and I've been using it every day for about a week now, and I really wanted to like it, but I don't. Hear me out, let me tell you the reasons why. So for the past few years, I have pretty much bought the Pro Max version every single time. I had the 12 Pro Max, I had the 13 Pro Max, the 14 Pro Max, the 15 Pro Max, and the phones were always just really big to me. Like, I kind of got tired of having a huge phone in my pocket. It was hard to maneuver with one hand, even though I do have pretty ginormous hands. Like, this is the Pro phone. Now, even though I do have big hands, the Pro Max was just really hard to maneuver, which was why I really wanted to like the Pro model this year, but it just didn't make the cut. The biggest reason I'm returning this phone is, surprise, surprise, battery life. Now, don't click off the video yet. Look, everyone knows the Pro versions aren't going to get as good of battery life as the Pro Max. But this year, the 16 Pro is pretty much on par with last year's 15 Pro Max, according to the battery tests, which is really impressive. And that's one of the reasons why I thought I might have been able to get by with using the 16 Pro this year. But I found the battery just to be dying too quick throughout my day, and I was having to charge it even earlier than I expected. Now, another reason I'm returning this phone is, even though it is easier to maneuver with one hand, I still somehow find myself struggling to do certain things with one hand, like pull down the control center or pull down the notification center, or really just tapping on anything on the top portion of the screen is still difficult. So I kept on thinking to myself, if I'm still having trouble maneuvering this phone with one hand, I may as well just stick with the Pro Max. Screen size and battery life aside, on the previous iPhones, one of the bigger reasons to get the Pro Max was also the cameras. The Pro Max has always had a step up in camera features from the regular Pro. This year, the Pro has every camera feature that the Pro Max has, which makes the Pro better. But for me personally, the battery life and the screen size is a deal breaker, and I should have known going into it, but I really wanted to like this phone just because of the form factor and the portability and the weight of it. It is a very light phone. I even like the Pro better because, like, when you're playing games and using stuff like the backbone controller and stuff like that, the Pro Max it's difficult to fit in there. You have to like have a rubber like adapter to put it in there, and then it like you have to put that on and off every single time. It's just annoying, right? It takes away from the convenience factor, which is what the backbone controller is supposed to be. It's supposed to be convenient. The Pro versions of phones have always just slipped right in, and it's just super convenient being able to play this, basically have like a portable, smaller Switch. I really need to find something like a backbone that works better with the Pro Max, but yeah, I have yet to find one. Please let me know in the comments if you know any recommendations. Other than those reasons, this phone has been great. It does have the A18 Bionic chip, which is super fast, insanely good performance. You can run any game at pretty much max settings. This phone does have better thermals than the previous phones. It's not going to get hot as quick, and it's not going to get as hot. The display itself, the 120 Hz, the ProMotion, buttery smooth. It gets up to the same 2000 nits brightness, so all of those are positives. And if you can get past the battery life and the screen size, then you have yourself an amazing phone here. The Pro features, if you are a content creator and this is going to be your main phone for making videos, then you need this phone. Using the camera control button is kind of finicky, and it not gonna lie, sometimes it seems like just a slower way of doing things, but it can come in handy to launch the camera quicker. And I like that they added it in order to free up the action button, because I use the action button for stuff like Shazam and a quick note, so I prefer having those mapped to the action button instead of the camera. I don't know, I just like having the action button free for other stuff, and at the same time I want to be able to access the camera quick if I need to. By the way, this is the Magbak Elite series case for the iPhone 15 and 16 Pro series. Not sponsored, but Magbak did send these out, and I have been loving this case. It's got a finger loop on the back, it's got a kickstand on the back, it's got built-in magnets inside the case, so it still works with all MagSafe products, but it's also got stronger magnets on the outside of the case, which is going to work with all of Magbak's products as well. And check this out. So on the bottom, it's got like this little dust cover, and it's really soft. They call this the pinky pillow, and it just sits on the pinky. Super cool. Surprisingly light and thin for a case as well, with so many features. But yeah, I'm not gonna go too deep into it. I did make a video up here. I'll link if you want to check that out, and I'll leave the links in the description if you do want to check this case out. It is a really cool case. So that is why I'm returning the 16 Pro. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.